Mauricio Mejia Live. Entertainment guru, Silicon Valley entrepreneur, author, and speaker. It's Mauricio Mejia Live. Bringing to you real people, real day-to-day life experiences, and real business opportunities. If you dare to step up. Do you have what it takes to take it to the next level and become who you are truly destined to become? Decide, commit, execute. Join the thousands of viewers around the world and become a part of the conversation. Mauricio Mejia Live.
How is everyone feeling out there today? Happy Wednesday. Wow, what an amazing day today it's been. Welcome to Mauricio Mejia Live Season 2, Episode number 9. Man, we are climbing up the charts, aren't we? Again, I want to welcome everyone to Mauricio Mejia Live Season 2, Episode number 9. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and now on Twitch. That's right. We're on 3 platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, broadcasting live from our downtown San Jose studio, heart of the Silicon Valley. So this season, we've lined up a bunch of great people so far. We've had business entrepreneurs. We've had real estate moguls. We've had political leaders. We've had a stock not a stockbroker, but someone that understood stocks and was able to teach us about stocks. And we're going to be talking with some entertainment professionals in the near future. And today we're going to be talking about fitness. So I'm really excited to be bringing on a good friend of mine and an entrepreneur who's going to be joining us in the conversation. But before we go into our guest tonight, we're going to hit our hot topics of the day. All right, hot topic number 1. First of all, we want to give a happy birthday to Cesar Chavez. Today, he would have been 94 years old. There's a lot of great things. I had the honor of sitting on the Chavez Family Vision Board here in San Jose with the only living sibling, Rita Chavez, who was, thank God, bless her soul. We had an amazing run. We took the Cesar Chavez breakfast from 250 to 500 plus people. We took it from a smaller hotel up to the Fairmont Hotel. When people thought that it wasn't going to be possible, we made it possible. So again, we'd like to give a moment of silence to Cesar Chavez. Today is his birthday, Cesar Chavez Day. Whew, man, that just looking at that picture and just thinking about the moment of silence, just I can feel it heartfelt, because I know the struggles, and I know that just the amount of energy and just fight that Cesar did for all Latinos and for all people that are definitely hard workers and that are in the community. And again, founder and organizer of the United Farm Workers organization, and got to give them keep doing what they're doing, and let's si se puede, and let's make it happen. So again, happy birthday to Cesar Chavez. He would have been 94 years old if he would have been with us today, and we send our positive energy and positive prayers to the family, to the Cesar Chavez board down in Los Angeles, and again to the United Farm Workers Union based out of Fresno. Again, continue the hard work, and si se puede. Let's continue to do this as Latinos, as all people coming together as one here in California. So again, thank you very much. Our next hot topic we want to talk about is it's going to be starting next week, and it's the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival, starting April 7th to the 20th, 2021. This is the first time. There's going to be one that's going to actually be a reel at a drive-in. But all of it is virtual. We're still going through the pandemic, COVID-19. For more information, and if you want to buy some tickets to this, actually, I encourage you to buy tickets. Visit them at www.pjiff.org. That's pjiff.org. That's their website. Make sure to support. We have the honor of having Maddie Scariot next week is going to be on the show. It's the first time we're actually going to have two guests on the show, and she's going to be our first guest, and I'm excited to have her on the show to talk about this film festival and the years that it's been and the impact that it has on the film world and all those good stuff. So looking forward to having her on the show next week and having a conversation about that. So moving right along, I'm excited to be bringing on our guest of the evening. Very excited. We've been building this one up as well. As you know, 2 weeks ago we had Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Right after that, we led into King Lay with Punch King, and now we're going to go into fitness. So a lot of stuff is surrounded by not only the fitness, but also the entrepreneurship and the business skills that come behind. Whether you're an athlete, there's business behind it. Whether you're an innovator, there's business behind it. And then when even if people that are in fitness and fitness coaches and trainers, there's a business behind it. There's an entrepreneur mindset that has to be in play before you go out and you endeavor into that world. So it's an honor to be bringing on. He's not only a friend. I've known him for many years. We've got to become friends over the years. And an entrepreneur, someone that I can bounce ideas, someone that has always has complimented me in my business and my business ethics. And I really can say now that I'm very excited that not only he's a friend, but we're going to be going into business together, and we're going to talk about that tonight. So without ado, I want to bring on Gabe Scarpelli on the show. Gabe, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Before we start talking, I want to talk about a couple of things. Gabe, you've been in the industry, an entrepreneur based here in Silicon Valley. You've worked hand on hand with some of the top brands in the health world. LA Fitness, Gold's Gym, World's Gym, 24-Hour Fitness. You've been in the game since 1996, and you've also promoted tons of diverse events, and we're going to dive into that. So thank you for being here and taking time away from the family, because I know you got family, I know you got little ones, and not only that, but you're also in the middle of reopening up your gym, because it's already open, but it seems like it's a restart now. So Gabe, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me tonight. I've been excited about this, thinking about this, being on the show tonight and just sharing this passion with everybody. And like you said, great big news today. So this is perfect timing.
Yeah, no, man. It's timing couldn't have been as perfect as it is. I want to say that today we had an amazing meeting. It was like back to back, true business. Come in early, handle business, go take care of more business, and then come back and do a show. So if people wonder what does it take to run your own business or be in business for yourself, man, they should definitely put a drone over us and watch how we roll, how hard. I mean, I'm even breaking a sweat right now just because I'm thinking like, man, and I always get like this. It's just crazy. Every time I do my show, there's a little bit of, because there's the unknown. We're live. We don't know what could happen, what's going to happen, what's going to be said, but it's exciting that we get to spend this time together and talk about it, man. Today, we had an amazing day. But before we go into that, man, tell us about yourself, man. Tell us, where did it all start? You've been 24 years in the fitness. Tell us a little bit about it, and tell us about Gabe.
Yeah. So born and raised in the Bay Area. I was lucky at a young age to find a real deep-seated passion in fitness. So at 15 years old, I went to go work at a local gym called Royal Courts, which some family friends owned. It was the Ramona brothers. And working there was just an amazing experience. I got my front desk experience and got to meet people and talk with people. And I fell in love with just how anyone and everyone, every walk of life walked in that door. I met CEOs, I met garbage men, I met kids, I met older ladies, younger ladies, older guys, younger guys. There was nothing. It transcended everything about who I could have access to at a young age. So it was awesome. I had experiences and talks with people that it was just an amazing experience. So I worked with them for numerous years, fell in love with the game, and just kept on going. I've never left fitness my whole life.
So what was your first gig in fitness?
So I worked front desk. I folded towels. I cleaned. I checked people in. I did whatever I had to do to get seen. I wanted to move up and just be a part of the organization, and that's a testament to the Ramonas. I've been blessed to work for really great people.
Good.
And people who took the time. Jeff Ramona was the other owner, and Jeff was a a previous college wrestler, and I was wrestling at the time. And he used to give me weekends off to go to my tournaments as long as I did my job during the week, and I was very responsible. So he taught me a lot about being responsible at a young age, but there was always a reward at the end. I got to go to my tournament. I got to go do what I love to do at school. So there was some very deep-seated learning lessons in the beginning, which led me to fall in love again with the community and the fitness game.
Seems to be no difference when you're starting in some career path or in something that you like. You have to start at the bottom. For me, being in the entertainment industry, and you know that I've been in the game for 25 plus years. I started by passing out flyers in parking lots because there was no social media. So imagine I had a bag. You got paid by how many flyers you would pass out, and there was a formula that we had. It was pretty archaic, but it was a ruler, and you stack up. You count 100 flyers, and then you do, instead of counting 1,000 flyers, you just kind of eye it, and you have a ruler and you mark 1,000, so street promoters would get paid per 1,000 flyer. Wasn't a lot, but we started, and then I got my opportunity working side by side with one of the godfathers in nightlife in the Bay Area, and then I just learned. I learned from running the door, running the basic bar stuff, and then I really wanted to learn the business, and then I got into the back end stuff of it, and I'm sure that's no difference in the fitness world. You started with rolling up towels, and then imagine you just kind of worked your way through the process and got yourself to that next level, tier by tier.
Definitely. I felt lucky to be in a position where I was around those types of people that would invest in me. And I think that's why I really enjoy mentorship now, is being able to kind of get back and paying homage and respect to the people that did it for me. Because without those base, I may have not loved the industry. I may be doing something completely different. And I count my blessings every day that I was able to stay with something, find my niche, and also adapt and change the industry as I went. Because it wasn't always about just doing status quo. It's about doing something different, change the game a little bit, and that's what keeps me going every day. It gets me excited.
Tell me, and I know because I know we've talked about it, but for our audience that's out there watching and listening, and by the way, thank you. We got Henry Chu that's in here. We got Jaime Arana who's in here. I want to say thank you to everyone that's reaching out too on the back end. I'm looking at, we got viewers from all over the country, and I just want to say thank you to everyone for the continued support. It makes me feel really good inside. And this is what motivates me to continue to do what I do here on my show, and excited to share stories, not only mine, but stories of other entrepreneurs and other business people. I know that it hasn't always been rosy for you, and I know that there's been struggles. I mean, most recently, obviously, with COVID-19, the whole pandemic here. But let's go back to some of your first endeavors and share some of those experiences, and I'm talking not just the good, but give us some of the stories of some of the shit you had to go through to get to where you're at today. Because even today, even with past experiences, you still got to apply some of the things you've learned in the past, and some of the past have been painful. I know for me, the past has been painful, but it has given me the tough skin, right? Given me the battle shields in order to continue to go through a pandemic like we're going through. And this just only going to make us stronger for the future of anything else. I mean, if we can make it through this, I'm almost certain that we can probably make it through anything else aside from death, because death is inevitable. But, share with us some of your stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
So I worked for big corporations, big box, everything's going great. And I think I got the opportunity of a lifetime because I made enough noise for myself in the Southern California market to be seen by somebody who was like a godfather in the industry. I mean, he was top guy in fitness. He built an empire not only in California, but all over the world. He was global. Nice. And when I see someone like that, I'm a sponge. I have no problem putting my ego aside, learning, listening, doing whatever. If you say roll towels again, I'll do it because I know there's something I didn't learn from the first time, so I'm going to do it.
Right. I love what you say. I'm gonna hit little clips when along the way. One of the first things you hit is ego. We talked about it today in our meeting. There was no ego at the table. We had some great minds sitting at the table today, and there's no ego. And when you can say, I have no ego and still want to learn because you're a sponge, those are the signs of entrepreneurship, the business spirit in us. I'm always learning. I shared with you who's going to be sitting in my office soon. This building is going to be surrounded with great minds that are not only going to be able to teach and embrace, but to lift not only myself, but the entire team, people that surround us. So it's exciting, man. These are very exciting times for all of us.
Most definitely. I'm excited to learn from new people. And again, just continue to build the network of great minds and great people around you. It's just so important. Mm-hmm. So I'm an all-in guy. When I commit to something, I jump in. No problem. Mm-hmm. I'll make it work because I'm not afraid of work ethic. I'm not afraid of getting after it. I work 20 hours a day if I have to, and I'll go 7 days a week. And I learned that from the events business, which we'll get into afterwards. The gym has an open time and a close time. The events business had none of that. So fast forward, a gentleman approached me. He's like, I got this opportunity, a beautiful building. Let's build a fantastic new gym. Really niche, hardcore style, old school bodybuilding and fitness center in San Diego. So I love it. It's a great concept. And he had offered me a partnership, which I'd always done the work for others, which I'm totally fine with. Sometimes you're driving for a team, and sometimes you're trying to create a team to be the leader of that and grow into your business. This was my real first chance at entrepreneurship. This was my first chance to say, you know what? There's no more paycheck. There's no more any of this stuff. I got to make it happen. So that's what we're going to do. So we buckle down. We get a plan together. We build. We launch. Easter Sunday, I was in there cleaning the locker room, getting everything ready because we opened April 5th, 2010. So we get there in the morning. Of course, I'm first there in the morning. It's 4:40 in the morning. We have a power outage. We had run a pre-sale with 200 members our first 6 weeks. We had a lot of excitement. We had done a lot of Facebook stuff because that just started pumping out so we could reach so many more people than we used to. Because I was a street team guy myself, not in the nightclub business, but in the gym game, it's the same thing. You go in front, you hand out 3-day passes. 1,000 a day. So that's what you got to do to bring in the traffic. And without a huge marketing budget, it's hard. You get creative. So everything is great. We're building it. And being a younger person, at the time I was 29, I was just getting into
man, you look good for 20 for being 35, bro. Wow, man. Wow. You're looking good, man. You're looking good. The business it doesn't age us. As long as we take care of ourselves, right? Then we're good.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself for sure. Mm-hmm. So we get ahead. Everything is on a handshake deal. And I wear my work ethic and everything on my sleeve every day. I show up to work. I do what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden, things are starting to change. I built the gym. I built the member base. I started bringing in coaches and camps and really diversifying how we saw the business. And we were being successful. We had over 1,500 members inside of 6 months. And we got each one of those one by one. So we put a lot of effort. And all of a sudden, the deal starts changing. Well, we're going to talk about pay now. Okay, great. Well, we had this in mind. But we're going to do this. And slowly and surely, I was still committed. I was like, I believe in this. There's always going to be variables in business, so I have to be flexible in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what it taught me at the end of it, because unfortunately those things never came together, I owned him for about 6 years. I ended up selling the small percentage ownership that I had acquired through work and investment and everything else to another individual, because every time I was promised something, I didn't have it in writing. I didn't have the foresight at the time, because I was just excited to be a part of it, to commit to paper and to press the issue with partnerships. And I learned the partnership lesson at that time.
I'm laughing not because I'm laughing at you, Gabe, but I'm laughing because it's something that we all learn. Because it's not something, even if you go through school, there's still some naiveness when you go into business, and sometimes it's people are afraid, or we were afraid of taking care of the business side of it, which is the paperwork side of it, and that is what allows us to feel that confidence and that security to move forward, so that at the end, if there is any changes and there is change in mindset of others when you're in a partnership, you can go back to what I call the company Bible, and you can refer back to, okay, well, hey, if this was going to happen, we have it in X, Y, Z in this section, that this is how we're going to handle it. So that way the conversation stays structured. And that's one of the things that we've learned as entrepreneurs, is that we're going to go through different types of learning lessons. There is no necessarily manual, but there is basics in business, whether you're in fitness, whether you're in entertainment, whether you're in any business. There's always going to be the basics in business. Today was a perfect example. We had an amazing meeting. We'll talk about that towards the end. But we brought paperwork. If there was no paperwork or no structure, then there would be no clear understanding other than just a bunch of guys in a room talking great ideas, but nothing being documented where it can give us the direction that we need. So for entrepreneurs that are out there listening, you got to have a direction. You got to have a focus, because once you have a focus, you have a direction, you have a plan, and with a plan then comes, I don't want to say success all the time, but you have a plan and a direction of where you're going. No different than what you've done. You went from learning all of this and then now trying to implement it and you're going through one of your first experiences, which I'm probably going to assume that this is where you decide to open up your wings and decide you want to go on your own. So keep sharing with us. Yeah, let us know.
So we get to the point where I sell. I learned the biggest lesson. It wasn't that I didn't get the paperwork. It's that now I learned the lesson that I will provide transparency, accountability, and the paperwork for any partners that I would want to, because I wouldn't want this to fall on them. Although it was a great learning lesson, there was ethics and integrity aspects to that I considered basic in my life. My father never would let me, make a promise I wasn't going to keep. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So at the end of the day, I didn't take it as like, man, I got hurt. I lost money. I lost some relationships. Unfortunately, there were some things that just didn't, I had friends that I thought were friends and they left because of the business and whatever. So I learned a valuable lesson, and I love that lesson. I don't regret that time at all. It's actually making me who I am today. It's made me who I have become as of now. And leading into like a relationship or partnership with anybody, I consider that document just to be my transparency. My expectation of you, your expectation of me. And as a new entrepreneur, don't be afraid to ask for that. That's probably the best advice I'll give anybody today, is that do not be afraid to ask for what their expectation is of you and what your expectation is of them.
Yeah, I always tell people it's always good to have those conversations now, so that later we don't have what I call we thought conversations, because we thought conversations are really painful. They really are, because we thought, then you go into, well, I thought this and I thought that, and we thought conversations, when you're in the middle of the game already and you're waist deep in the mess, you got to be able to have that full transparency, at least have an understanding. Doesn't have to be a fully executed understanding, but have an understanding so that there's a meeting of the minds. And again, it's just part of learning, and if anything, today we're going to share some short steps or how to shrink that learning curve from becoming a big learning curve, because I know that you've spent some pretty big bucks. I know north of $1 million in some of your endeavors. But go ahead, keep sharing with us your story, man. Not that I love your pain, but we got to hear your pain to understand where you're at today.
I love sharing the pain. It reminds me. Yeah, seriously. It reminds me though, right, where we are today and like what we had to go through, those struggles. So one of the best things that came out of what we did was I tried to get really creative on marketing. And I know you're a marketing guru, man. I've watched nightclubs and all the different businesses. I've really got a lot of affinity for how you bring your audience into what you're doing, and they really love what you do.
It's you know what it is just having no fear. And at the end of the day, I've made so many mistakes in marketing. At an early point in my life, I made so many mistakes in the marketing world that, but I learned from my lessons. I didn't repeat them, and that's why my branding and my marketing, my visual, my concept from A to Z, just I've dialed it in. So that's and I love it. I love being in your face. I love being guerrilla marketing tactics. I love to even with social media, there's nothing like beating the streets up with hand-to-hand combat. Word of mouth is the best. So
I still do it.
I still do it.
I still go out. No problem.
Yeah.
Community. I still like going business to business and putting a face behind my personal business and our business going.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. I think people take social media, not to jump on a tangent, but you take social media as the only marketing, and I'll tell you, you're losing an entire community and touch point and respect level that you can't get digitally. You still got to do that, but you can't forget the bones of what I call the traditional marketing.
Absolutely. So let's go into your first pain here, your real pain, because I know you're going through this, your paperwork stuff. Tell us what's next.
So during all this time, we actually started another part of the business because I was still committed. I was still trying to build the brand. So we started developing events because instead of just doing traditional marketing, I was really interested in experiential marketing. So we decided to throw an MMA show.
Okay.
We decided to work with local gyms and get that community aspect out. And we started building what we had at the time, which was called World Combat Series. Mm-hmm. And the MMA show was a way for us to get the community together, know who we were. And also we were able to use World Gym and some of our brands to pedestal those, right? To get to think that we're big and like, hey, these guys put this show on or these guys did this, so let's go be a part of what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we built that up. I realized that the shows are awesome. It's a lot of work.
Oh.
I loved it, though. And I worked 20 hours a day, 18 days in a row before a show, and like 3 months consequently to do like 6 hours of a show.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, I trust me. I know that pain. I did a walkthrough today of a beautiful hotel in San Francisco that wants us to bring back Detox Sundays, and I did that pool brand for 10 plus years. By the way, I love your background. I have to make a point of it because that's downtown San Jose. I know those little markers out there, and I know that it's part of your branding, Silicon Valley. But that little pool on the corner, right on your shoulder, your other side, that's the Fairmont Hotel, baby.
I noticed that.
Oh yeah, no, that's the Fairmont Hotel, and that's the former home of Detox Sundays. And I know those pains that come with putting in a 15-hour day the day of for a show, or for an event that's 6 to 8 hours or 4 hours, really a peak time. But there's a start and end time for all these events, and I know what it's like to put an event of massive numbers where you put a lot of energy out, and you hope to get that energy returned by seeing how successful financially. But not only that, but success to me is measured on events by how many people show up and how many happy faces are coming in because they're coming with expectations to enjoy a show, and then walking out with smiles on their face and not saying "fuck, that party sucked" or "that show sucked," or because that's the worst. You want to actually talk to that person and find out, hey, what did you not like?
What did I do for you?
Yeah, what did you not like about this show? And then then when they really get down and they nitpick it, you're like, oh, okay, well, all right, thanks, keep going. So
Fairmont, we're a little tall. I don't know. I like it's like.
Yeah, the greenery wasn't as green. I'm like, okay, never mind. You're the wrong person to ask a question to. But anyway, so go ahead, share with us about your event.
So we built that up. That was great. We had actually a really good return. We had a jiu-jitsu program. We had one of the first crossover hybrid gyms in Southern California. So
Nice.
We had a full hardcore gym, and then we had this upstairs space we didn't know what to do with. And I love jiu-jitsu. I loved MMA growing up in the Bay Area, right down the street from like great gyms like AKA. And a lot of the top fighters in the Bay Area, who I know you know them.
Yes. I'm a former AKA student, man. I thought I was gonna be a badass fighter, but we already talked about that story a couple of times. I tapped out because I got my ass whooped by a female in the gym, or actually in the ring. So I enjoy it. I embrace it. She was a badass, and I thought it was sparring. It was supposed to be light sparring, not fucking coming in and blasting me. I was like, are you serious? Like Jerome, at the time Jerome was our coach, and he says light sparring, and I don't think she understood what light sparring was, or maybe I didn't understand what light sparring was, And when she lit me up, I was like, oh hell no, I'm not going into this. This is I was just about to launch my full on career with nightlife. I had I don't want to break my nose. I mean, I've seen some of you. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I've seen some people, they look beat up, man, from the fights. And then the abuse that they give to their face. I'm like, no, I'm a pretty boy. At least I think I'm a pretty boy, and I want to go and be cool. But yeah, no, man, that wasn't for me. But anyway, enough of my tangents here. Go ahead.
So we realized really quickly. I was like, I'm in San Diego, but I was still coming to the Bay Area once a month for at least a week, and my business was really north out of SoCal. And every time I flew in here, I was like, man, I fly right over SAP Center. And if you look right about here, that's Parkside Hall.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know Parkside Hall, yeah. Mm-hmm. The little orange building.
And I was eyeing the Civic Center at the time. It was called the Civic.
Yeah.
And I was like, someday I'm going to put a show on here. I'm going to take it big. We're going to just go for it. And that someday happened about 6 months after all that. So fast forward, we built the business, and part of the hardship, I don't want to jump around too much. So part of the hardship was I built all this again. I got all the names. Everything's going great. I come to the Bay Area. I make all my relationships with every MMA gym in the Bay Area. We have some great people coming out. I have a huge show we're going to do over at Parkside Hall. And we go through it, and it was the first time we had just ever seen that many people at one time for us. We went from having local shows, 500-600 people in a night, doing really well, to our first show, we did over 4,000 people.
Wow.
So Parkside Hall was bustling. I'd never handled that many people at one point. So parking, logistics. I mean, I learned so many lessons that day.
Yeah.
There's nothing like baptism by fire, and that is exactly what the heck that was, man. I went through it. But at the end of the day, I was exhausted and so thrilled because, like you stated, I don't do events for the money. I did the events because the community came out, and it was fit community, martial arts community. And as they walked out, they had smiles on their face. Their kids were smiling. The fighters were having a good time. They had a big platform to go showcase what they train and have a passion for every day. And I'm like, this is it. I love the events business. This is look at everyone's face. No one's leaving here like, wow, I really regret that last 3 hours of my life.
That was you got sucked into the Garden of Eden.
Yeah. So as that's progressing and getting better and everything's good, my partner, who, again, I didn't do any paperwork because I hadn't been through the ringer yet. One day I see my Facebook pages changing names and admins coming off and all the back-end stuff starting to happen. We had reached a point where we're starting to get, we're doing pretty decent financially. We're building a brand, and they got a good community behind us. All of a sudden, I'm not relevant anymore. Okay, we got to get rid of Gabe. We got to do this. He's got too much ownership, and they didn't try to do it the right way. They didn't try to pay me off or let's part ways. Yeah. In the back end. So if a good friend of mine was like, "Hey, your Facebook page is changing names. Did you change the name of your company?" I'm like, "No, we did not do that." So luckily, I caught it in time, thanks to a good friend of mine named Dustin, and I'll give him total credit. And I was able to salvage the brand. Long and the short of it was, we went to mediation. It cost me a ton of money. It cost me 6 months. And basically, not only did it cost me the money to do all that and try to buy my brand back, which I built from the ground up with my heart, I ended up getting it back, but it cost me a lot. It cost me a lot. I can't get back, but a lot of great lessons.
Yeah, well, that's where you learn the most. You learn the most in some of your darkest moments. And as a business entrepreneur, business owner, I've always told people out the audience, they watch and comment, and they always ask, one of the questions is, what does it take to be a business owner, or how do you know you're at that level? I've always told people you're truly you'll get some stripes, some business owner stripes or entrepreneur stripes when you get your first lawsuit, when you deal with your first lawsuit, not only when you get sued, but when you have to sue somebody or you go into a dispute amongst partnerships. They're not pretty. As you know, I went through a very ugly one not too long ago. But the lessons that I learned out of that are for the better moving forward, because it gives me the toughness, the mental toughness, the tough just again the perseverance, the resiliency. We talked about resiliency last week with King Lay. We talked about being resilient, and resiliency in our spirit and in being an entrepreneur is very key. It's very important. Why? Because if we don't, we're always going to make mistakes, and we're always going to fall. We use that as a term, as an analogy. Not that we literally fall on our, sometimes we'll fall on our face, but we fall, and we need to get up. And the quicker that we learn to get up, the quicker that we can get back on track, so that we've lessons learned and move on. And that's part of like the experiences that we have to have. And again, the show is built on entrepreneurs, is built on, you're not going to come here and just hear all the highlights. You're going to hear the bullshit that we deal with, the real deep shit that we have to deal with as entrepreneurs on a daily, because people only get to see the show, and that's the end product. They don't see the behind the scenes and understand that, hey, putting a show together that brought in 4,000 people took a lot of work, but not only that, you weren't prepared to have 4,000 people, and now you got to deal with the next problem, which is now how do I deal with 4,000 people in a room where I only expected, I would have been happy with 1,500 people or 2,000 people, but I've gotten double the amount, and now with double the amount, you run the risk of potentially having a bad event, because here's what happens. You run out of food. You don't have sufficient bathrooms. The show is too crowded. It gets too hot. I mean, there's so many components that are moving parts that you have no control of, and the only way you're going to learn is from experience. And I know firsthand. I went through it. I mean, Detox Sundays, the first one, I did 1,500 people. It was off the charts. I didn't know what to expect. I knew there was going to be a good party. 1,500 people at the Doubletree Hotel in San Jose, where the occupancy around the pool said, like, I don't know, 99 or 99. I mean, I don't know. I'm being exaggerating. I don't remember the number exact. But between the yeah, but there was 1,500, because that's what we counted through the door, and I was like 1,500. But I learned a lot of lessons from it. You have a lobby lounge, you have a hotel rooms, you have the pool side, you have all kinds of moving parts. And that's when I learned, I'm like, oh, man, it's not just the pool area we got to protect. We got to protect the entire property, from parking lot to the back door to the every point of the property, because everything now becomes the venue. And I can just imagine, and I know the space that you were in. That's 4 walls, but that's 4 big walls, and with a lot of doors, emergency doors and doors that can become possible factors of so many different problems. But so you have to me, that's a successful event. I don't see any bad here. What's going on other than you had a falling out with your partners? So you move on.
Success, right? We did well, everything's good, but then greed.
Ooh.
Oh, hey, they did this. We built this. Look at this. Mm-hmm. Let's grab it.
Yeah.
And I was willing to share. I'm about the team. Let's build the team. Let's have the whole family eat. Let's have the team eat. Not be greedy. So another lesson. Great show. It was awesome. And then right after that, it was like, all right, we gotta stop. We get through mediation and everything. I spend a good portion of the money I'd saved up over the years. I spent a good portion of the time I was trying to figure out how to maneuver in the system, because honestly, I'd never been with a lawyer before. Mm-hmm. I never had to go to mediation or talk to anyone or present a case. Luckily, I was a steward of basically collection on receipts and any paperwork that I was making or having. I had it, except for the agreement and some of the other business aspects of it. So I had to end up buying him out. So I had to buy my own company back. That was hard, but I believed in my product. I believed in Evolution Sports Expo. I believed that I knew how to do the gyms, and that's just 4 walls in San Diego. I'll build another one. And that's what we did. I came back, and that was no stopping me. I already knew what we were going to do and how to do it.
So Evolution, the Sports Expo, right? Evolution Sports Expo. That's your event, your yearly event. I know that when we get out of this pandemic, we're going to go into post-pandemic. I know we talked about it. I want to be a part of that whole organization. Especially, we're not going to give out any secrets here, because we don't know who's. We don't want to give out the secrets. We want to surprise everyone. Right. But I know from conversations that we've had in the past, Gabe. I know that one of, at least for me, where what catches my interest and why I think it's important that we share this on the show is, one of your biggest ventures was a World's Gym down in San Diego. I mean, that was you shared that in that endeavor. I mean, not only was it a huge space, I don't remember the square footage, but you have spent close to probably $1 million to north of $1 million in that just in equipment alone. You said you had almost $600,000 worth of equipment in one of the conversations. Yep. Share with us about that experience, and then we'll fast forward to today where you're at, because I know that had to, not only the events, but I know that experience, especially at that high level that you played the game at, that must have given you your master's degree, your PhD degree, your experience to be able to say, I'm not afraid to dive back into this game because I know this game and I've mastered it. To now to the point where you have, correct me if I'm wrong, 20,000 square foot gym right now, and you've mastered to just make it work. So share that World Gym story with us so that people understand the resiliency and your persistency, your consistency, and just the heart of a champion that you have to make sure to get out of that rut that maybe you, well, I'm going to call it a rut because I don't think that was anything happy to go through.
No, I mean, it was a big gym. It was 19,000 square feet, and it was in a harder part of San Diego. It was in North County, which was at the time just growing. It wasn't like highly populous downtown or La Jolla or Del Mar, like some big areas. But we got a great deal on the building. We were right on the freeway, and it was the biggest financial commitment of my life. $600,000 was just the equipment. That didn't include the build out. That didn't include the paint, flooring, and all the other stuff that goes into it, minus all of the other craziness that we live on a day to day. And essentially, as we built it, we ran out of some money. We were doing what we could.
Hey, I've been there. I know that. I know that feeling. You think you can do it at this cost and just times it by 2.
Yeah, and when you don't know, the problem is you don't know what you don't know. So you can do all the greatest budgets in the planet, and that's what we did, and they didn't match. So the last couple of days, I'm the one rolling out rubber flooring that I put on my credit card. I'm the one gluing it down. My buddies, my sister, my mom, my dad, everybody's got a paint roller trying to finish the project, and I would say resourcefulness above all else. Okay? And I don't mean financial resourcefulness, but just being able to bring the community together. 20 of the gym members that we had signed up, we became friendships with, and everything else. They showed up. And when I talk community, I don't care how many Facebook ads you put out there, they knew Gabe, and they knew my mom, my dad, and everybody. And they're like, we want to support the Scarpelli family. Yeah. And they showed up, man. And all to this day, if they ever came up here and said, I want to work out or we want to go to dinner, it's on me forever. I'll never forget that support we had. It was amazing.
They came in full force. And, I've been there. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 15 years old. My first true business on my own was when I opened up the Vault here in the heart of Silicon Valley, 2004. My original projection was like, I can do this for $300,000 because, I never played with numbers like that personally. And so 300,000 sounded like, man, I can build an Empire State Building with this kind of money. And then it came, when I hired the company to do the design build, they're like, okay, yeah. So they sent me the budgets for this. And I'm like, $1.2 million. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait, no. What are you building this? They're like, well, you wanted marble floors and you wanted these beautiful sconces and you wanted this the floor. I mean, I didn't realize that square footage, how the building aspect of it was, and that was probably one of the greatest learning lessons for me. Now, we built it, we made it happen, but we've learned how to create the illusion. And that's what we do in the entertainment industry. We create that smoke and mirror. By the way, that's the title of my book, Smoke and Mirrors. But yeah, it was that's what we do, and we create this environment, this perception, And just like in the gym, you got to create that energy as well. And you have it's like you guys have your own formula on how you even set up your equipment. You know, from the minute you walk in, I mean, I've seen it, and I don't know if this is just a common practice, but the first thing you see when you walk in is you see people doing cardio because you want to get that energy going. And then as you go through the process, and you know, you're seeing who's on what machine, blah blah blah. You kind of scoping out the scene. And then you go deeper into the gym, and then you'll start seeing all the other stuff. So, give us a little tour of how you design. But before we even go there. So you go from World Gym. You go through your big, kind of. Did it even open? Because I don't remember. We
opened. Everything was great. A lot of members, successful. When we moved to the Bay Area, I sold my partnership because I really was coming up here too often. I had two kids at the time. I have 2 kids now, but they were 2 young kids, and I wanted to be close to them again. So I knew if I'm going to go to the Bay Area and really do what I want to do, I can't leave for 3 weeks, a month at a time. I don't want to miss my children. So
even though San Diego's cool and all that, but you know, you got priorities, man. You know,
family's always number one for me, no matter what it is.
And I know I've met your wife. Is your wife Italian too, by any chance, or?
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, bro. You're your Italian wife, bro. You're coming home.
Yeah, exactly.
You're coming home.
She worked at the kids club a long time ago when I was working for the Ramona brothers. When I was the front desk towel kid, she worked in the kids club. That's how
awesome.
The fitness life is a part of my life. So
wow.
Anyway, it's amazing. That's a whole nother podcast. Great story, but we made it, man. It was great, you know. And every month we made that $600,000 payment. We were making chunks of it every month. It pushed me past the point of my comfort zones. It wasn't like there was this infinite bank behind us. We had to really get after it. We had to go sell. We had to go create opportunities, and then more importantly, we had to retain. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to flip memberships all day. And, you know, frankly, it was a lot easier just to do a good job and have a relationship in the community. So we stuck with it, and we're like, dude, I don't care what we're charging a month or what it is, but anyone that works here, anyone that is a part of our family here has to understand that these clients, these people are not just here to work out. They're here for a full experience.
That's right.
So
that's right.
That's how we built this. It was always like I have the same treadmills that Gold's Gym has. I have the same weights that World Gym has. But what we have is different. It's community. We have us. And that's who people really resonate towards. They want to buy and be a part of the gym or the nightclub where they know that face. That cheers, we always call it the cheers moment, right? You walk in, Norm's at the end of the table.
So you're just dating yourself, buddy. I don't know about cheers, you know. Let me ask you. So San Diego, you sell your partnership there, and you move back to the Bay Area. What happens next when you move up to the Bay Area? Because it doesn't stop. I mean, it doesn't. You don't seem like the kind of person that's just going to stop there. I mean, you got to continue to keep moving. What's next? What happens?
So I plan my largest events that we've ever done before. Mm-hmm. I knew that coming up to San Jose, I wanted to be downtown. First and foremost, I wanted to be in Silicon Valley. Number 2, I was going to hit the Civic Auditorium, and I was going to do the San Jose Convention Center. There was no doubt in my mind that those 3 things, the biggest venues downtown had to offer in our space, was going to get tackled. So I committed to it, and I drove towards it. So I called everybody. I put my money where my mouth is on the contracts a year and a half in advance, which hurt. It still hurts to put it out. You know, you're renting space like now for 2023. So, and that's part of what we do. So I get in here, and an opportunity to jump back into the fitness game this year. There's a big, beautiful building downtown. It was 12,000 square feet over by Little Italy. And at the time, I was on the board of directors for Little Italy, so I was pretty intimately familiar with the area. And I was able to build what we call Parabellum Training Center.
Yes. Yeah, that's right next to where I live. I know. I was like, wait, what building is this? I won't
say where you live, but I know.
Yeah, don't be telling people where I live. But if they know where that gym is at, they're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah. So that gym was great. We built something different. I wanted to have a true-to-life training facility for MMA, boxers, Muay Thai, and CrossFitters. So we stuck to the plan. I'd done the mom and pop gyms, and it was great. The community gyms were great, but being in the sports expo, I was working with athletes. We have 3,000 plus athletes registered and competing in the events that we do. So I got to know everybody. I'm like, man, it would be wonderful to have something that offered them the fitness side along with their martial arts side. It was the CrossFit side along with the punching bags, right? Some great amenities. And downtown was just bustling. We were just right place, right time. Good learning lesson was parking downtown is hard. Yeah.
Unless you're lucky like us now. So we're good.
That was a big deciding factor. So broker deals with all of the you got to get creative, right? Like in business. So we broker deals with the parking garages downtown. We made it work, and we had a really good event. We had a really good gym that lasted 7 years.
Nice.
Yeah, and
things happen, and again, it's the circle of business. Things happen, partnerships. Either you grow together or you grow apart. Yep. And you have to be ready for those for the good times, and then for the bad times. Yep. And and I can see it. And again, I want to thank the person that actually formally introduced us, because we knew of each other for a long time, was Ray Arty from Built Tough. He was he's actually the I think that's where we really formally got to meet each other, at one of your expos. I think that was at the one at the Santa Clara County. No, it was the Santa Clara. It was, and I remember that I met you, and I mean that was. I knew you were running around like a chicken with your head cut off, because events. That's just the way it is. Everybody wants to act like they're VIP. I was one of them, and I just knew that I wasn't going to get that attention. But that's where I really got to see. And then of course I'm an event promoter, and I started looking at all the things that I would be doing differently. And then obviously that's how conversations begin. One of the things that I am not afraid of is telling and sharing or asking someone that's doing something at the high level is, hey, how do you do this? Or, hey, what would you think of if you did it this way? Or, hey, I thought this. I don't mind giving a constructive opinion. And I always started with like, hey, this is my opinion, and I just thought. But other than that, great show, great event, blah, blah, blah. Because, again, experience comes together, and hopefully people are listening. And open-minded to taking that kind of criticism. So, again, moving forward, we got a lot of great things. One of my last questions here, or kind of like my bullet points is what's next for Gabe and your company. Now, Evo, tell us about Evo, and give us the story on that one, because that in itself has a story. Because you're pre-COVID, you're open. Pre-COVID, 20,000 square foot location. Hello, when is Gabe going to get a chance?
Square feet, 26,000 square feet. It was
26,000. Damn. Oh,
dream location, huge building, great opportunities, really great developed programs like Stanford Gymnastics and Loop Kicks and Silicon Valley Judo and a full-on functional fitness area that, I mean, we're 10,000 square feet in functional fitness, which doesn't happen. And I'm not bragging about it, but we were just so excited for the opportunity to have that much space to actually create a community again right here. So we build it, everything's good. We actually stayed on target for our opening date. We stayed on budget. So all these things we're working on, man, this is too good to be true, man. Come January 25th, we open. And that's 2020, by the way.
Because it wasn't 2019, buddy.
A month later, we had one of our expos. So we ran our Sacramento event on February 25th. And I was like, all right, March, we're going to hammer this hard. This is going to be great. There's this weird thing called COVID that's coming around. I don't know. It's a flu. I don't know what it is.
People are talking about it. There's no testing. During that time, by the way, late January, I was so sick. I honestly didn't know what the hell had hit me. I've never been this sick in my entire life, and I don't know what the hell hit me. And when I went to the doctor, all they said is, hey, here's some take some NyQuil. It's just the flu. And I was like, now I'm not disregarding whether it was or wasn't, but there was no way to test it. To this day, I've tested many times for the COVID. I haven't tested positive. Thank God all of them have been negative. So I don't know, and they can't tell you whether I have if I'm immune to it or not. The only safeguard is getting the vaccination. And you know my thoughts on that. We won't go into that. But so this COVID, this buzzword is coming out.
Yeah, we have an amazing show in Sacramento, 10,000 people, okay? Really good show. It was our first time in that area, actually bringing our event and expanding. I had lofty goals. In 2020, we were going to do 3 to 4 expos, which was up from the 1 we annually did. And our expansion was right because the sponsors were right, the athletes, the coaches, everybody was behind it. So we get in, we're done. After the Sacramento event, we have May coming, and that's back home in Santa Clara. We're right here in Silicon Valley. We're ready to go. And March 16th comes around, and we get the word. That goes down. Okay, it's just going to be for a few weeks, guys, so suck it up. We'll batten down the hatches. We'll get ready. We're going to use this time to fine-tune what we have. We got 2 weeks to really do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll be ready. 2 weeks is this has been a long 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we just opened up 2 weeks ago.
Wow. And congratulations, by the way. And while we were during this downtime, I know you and I have been communicating during all of this. I mean, on a more frequent. We talked about ideas. We talked about, I launched CalX, my new California Labor Exchange company during COVID. May 1st was the official date that I started this, and we talked about, hey, what if we started this COVID cleanup, a division for COVID cleanup for all the gyms, disinfecting all the gyms. Again, entrepreneurship kicks in, the mindset, it's who we're surrounded by, like minds, resiliency, how are we going to power through this? COVID-19 was, I had just launched my book, Smoke and Mirrors. There was, now I'm quarantined. There's no way I can do a book release party, all the fun things that I wanted to do. Yeah. Which, by the way, I might just do a relaunch, and just kind of smoke and mirror it to everybody. But we're all going through this now. We don't know when does this end, because there's just no leadership during that time, local and on a state and on a federal level. There's no leadership. All there is just. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on, and we're all going in. And the biggest people that took the hits were the fitness industry, the hospitality industry. This lost billions of dollars collectively amongst all of the, and those are just a few industries that have gotten hit. But then again, it's a trickle effect. All the people that lost their jobs, and all the trainers that believed. I mean, this has got to be your 2 weeks that you've opened. You got to be seeing some excitement. You got to be seeing. I mean, I was blessed that I had the ability to stay somewhat fit throughout this time, and have the ability to have friends that allowed me to use either their private gyms or even in my own building. But you got to be seeing some excitement and people just wanting to just come back, because I know when they did open for that little short period of time, I couldn't wait to get in there. I mean, it was a little inconvenient, but I don't mind a little inconvenience so that I can get my aggression out on the gym.
Agreed. Yeah, we've been seeing nothing but positivity, excitement. Yeah. People are just you see it in their eyes as they walk in the door, because it's something that they have never had taken away from them. They missed it, and they didn't just miss it because it was good for you. They missed their people that they used to work out with. They missed the front desk person who's like, hey, what's up, man? How you been? Family. Like those day-to-day interaction points, right? Because the secondary worst part was they weren't getting it at work, right? They work from home. They stay at home. They don't work out. There's no outdoor anything. There's no more events. Can't go to a nightclub. Can't go to a restaurant. And if you're an extrovert, which I am, you are, it was one of the hardest things to adapt to, because I'm not – without having my family, I feel blessed to, be able to have my wife and my kids with me. If I was a single guy right now or during COVID, it would have been much harder trying to deal with just not being who I am on a daily basis.
Well, it wasn't that bad for me, but it's all good. It was definitely, man. It was definitely it was a struggle. I mean, I launched my book however I could. And then, the blessing is that it allowed me to recalibrate my mind, myself, my future, the direction that I wanted to go. It allowed me to really slow down. And Gabe, I don't know about you, man, but the time off, aside from it being a struggle to navigate through the financial crisis that this has created, not because we self-inflicted it, but because it was a world, a global thing that we had to deal with. It allowed me to really recalibrate, rethink things, and then allowed even us to have conversations on different levels. At the time, I moved into a 30,000 square foot brand new, not brand new building, but a new building, build out, 5,000 square feet of executive offices for our team. So everyone is supposed to be moving in. It's exciting times. And then we have, another 25,000 square feet of the building to develop. I'm trying to think of ideas. One of my passions is I've always wanted to, I don't want to say own a gym, but be a part of a gym group, because I feel that it's something that has always been in me. We were originally supposed to open up another brand here, and that obviously partnership didn't work out. But now it all worked out for the best. Why? Because the meeting of the minds, again, goes back to us being entrepreneurs. You're in a space that I want to be in. I know that I can learn from you. You can learn from me. We can learn from our other partner. We can learn from all of our team members. This is what makes this is exciting, and it goes to what's next for Gabe. Now, I know you got a big monster under your control right now that you have to. Obviously, that's home base, and I've told you whatever we can do out here. Anyone that's out here locally to support, we're going to be here to support you 1,000,000%. We're going to put all of our resources to make sure that home base is successful, and then obviously we're gonna move on to other projects, which goes to the relationships that you've built over 25 years. The biggest value that you have for yourself is the amount of relationships that you have built over the years. Just like I've built in 25 years, you can imagine all the celebrities that I've met, all the artists, all the musicians, all the producers, all the business people in the entertainment industry that have allowed me to, that one way or another, I'm 5 degrees away from somebody in the entertainment world.
Yep.
So those values that I brought to you, that we brought and we built because of our extensive networking and network, has allowed us to navigate, and which segues right into what we did a few weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago. Yeah, but 2 months ago, maybe it's been. I finally just the light clicked in my head, and I said, "Hey, Gabe, I know you got your big monster over there." I said, "Would you be interested in building a gym with me or consulting? Because I want to build a gym, and I have a 5,000 square foot, a little under 5,000 square foot space. We can do an expansion, and I want you to come and look at the building that I'm at." You came, and I think you fell in love with the building, and you felt that there was a good energy. And a month later, you bring in 2 gentlemen to the office, and really I didn't even know what the game plan was, but again, it just shows. Yeah, well, I don't know what I honestly don't know what direction we were going, but I always love to have good meetings, positive meetings, and where there's potential, and again, sometimes the best ones are the ones you don't know. And you brought 2 gentlemen in, Kingley and Henry Chu to the office, and 1 hour meeting turned into a 3-hour mastermind. Absolutely. And we talked about all kinds of different things, and introduced for the first time to me Punch King and the Punch King brand, the bag, and the concept. I automatically fell in love with the thing because I as soon as I saw it, it just clicked in my head naturally what I would do to that bag, because I was already in training with Ruben Guerrero down at Pound for Pound, and it was almost like the perfect storm, Gabe. And one of the things that I know about you is that you're a power connector too. In your industry, you know how to connect the dots, just like I know in my industry how to connect the dots at a very high level. We know that we're not dealing with the person, the gatekeepers. We're dealing with beyond the gatekeepers, even though we know to respect the gatekeepers of any time we're trying to open up doors. We know that we have to be respectful to the gatekeepers. But you brought in these two gentlemen, and man, it was just like magic. It was almost like love at first sight, which is scary. Because sometimes if it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. But this is one that organically grew, and it has allowed us to fast forward to a day like today. Today for me is a very special day now, not for many reasons. And today one is because we came to a meeting of the minds. 4 people, 5 people, 4 people were in the room, and we posted it today on Facebook and on Instagram and so forth. And they say it's not official unless you post it on Facebook or Instagram. So it's super official now. But we created a partnership with Punch King Fitness, and people are gonna say, Gabe, you're crazy. Are you gonna dive into another business? Yeah, you're crazy. We're all crazy. That's what being an entrepreneur is. We got a little bit of crazy in us, and that's what makes us go for it, because we're not afraid. Why? Because we're never gonna be one to put all of our eggs in one basket, or depend on one thing to bring us that. That's, I don't want to call it stability, but maybe that. What would be the word? I don't know. I think variety has always been fun. It's a variety is always, having multiple things, as long as it's within management or
Right.
reach. I think it's good. I explained to you. I showed you how I work my system. It's 5 lanes is the most I can work on, because after that I start dropping the ball and I become no good to the team. But today was a great day, man. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for making the introduction. I want to thank the team. They came, King Lei, Henry Chu, my boy Ruben Guerrero. All of us are going to bring so much value to not only what we're going to create here, the Punch King Fitness, the first one, and then the other, the mothership, Punch King World, in helping and bringing our relationships to making that a world-renowned brand, because that's where it's going. It's going to go global through all of our relationships, and just the way that, man, you're that's where you're gonna shine on a whole different level. That, imagine once we get back into the arenas, back into the stadiums, and we won't say which ones, but
I get excited just hearing it. I'm ready.
man, this is where we're really at our age, at our level of maturity and our experiences. We get to bring our talent, our skills, our experience to the table, and really have fun with it. Like, it's a different level of fun. It's back in our 30s, 20s and 30s. Our fun was a lot different than our fun now, because before we thought we were fucking invincible and that we were gonna, that nothing can get us. And then as you get a little older, you start to slow down, because you start to become wiser. You're like, I don't know if I want to really put, take my body to that level of just craziness. But it's exciting, man. It's really exciting to be where we're at today.
I feel blessed just to walk out of COVID, right? We are in a great position. We're still around, and we're going to thrive.
Yeah.
And we have the opportunity out of this whole thing to rise up like a phoenix with new partnerships, new opportunities, a brand new brand. And I mean, Punch King Fitness downtown and in Silicon Valley, where it's like, everything happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think, like you stated, and I truly believe it. And I posted this like 4 weeks into COVID, it was the time you could literally have no excuse not to have time. You didn't have a time to do your business or your hustle or whatever it was, or you couldn't. And talking from an events business where you plan a year and a half in advance, or even the nightclub business where you're planning weeks in advance and you're always chasing a date, it was the first quiet, right? Where you're like, okay, I can sit back and now we can reinvent. And I look at this as like, these things happened. It was horrible for a lot of people, but how we come out of it is going to really lead us how we all develop ourselves, right? It's the next level of ourselves. So
yeah, absolutely. I'm in full agreement. I always I've told people immediately when I saw this thing starting to happen, I realized that this is not going to be a short-term problem. This is going to be a long-term problem, because of all the moving parts that were going on during the time. The political temperature that was happening, the world, just people, just everything. And honestly, I really took the opportunity to slow myself down too, and really get myself together and put myself together so that I can come out of this strong. I thought that 2021 coming out the gate, I was going to be off the charts. 5 days into the new year, my appendix blows up. I'm on the surgery table. Honestly, I could have died from that. No joke. It's not being exaggerating, but I could have died, and it gave me a different perspective to now. I appreciate a lot more. I'm hyper appreciative of all the things that I've been through and going through now, and that where we're going to be in the future. It's exciting, even though we don't know what the future looks like. Just the fact that we're all working together, some great minds, a great team, full of energy, full of business savvy, and a lot of excitement. And key word that we used today, and it was just great to hear it, was no egos. Why? Because egos destroys partnerships. Egos and greed destroy partnerships, and if we can control that, because these are one of those opportunities where you can taste the success right at the tip of your tongue, if you know what I mean. Like, for example, I see your brand, your sports club. I see it in multiple locations. I see what we're going to create with Punch King Fitness is going to be in multiple locations on different levels. And then not only that, but even the expos are going to be on a whole different level, because again, all of us are going to bring a lot of valuable assets to the table, and it's just you can smell success, and you can feel the win-win all around and across the board for everybody.
Yeah, and I appreciate all the positive energy, especially with all of the stuff that we've had to go through, and it makes you appreciate it, right? We're looking at the world in a different light. And I swore that 2020 was going to be the year of vision, as many people stated, right? I thought that was cool. It's like 2020 vision. And it was in its own way, right? It may have given the clarity you wanted, but it did provide you some sort of clarity.
It gave you 2020 vision with a whole different perspective, though.
It absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, there was
local perspective, human perspective, a lot of new things.
And you're right. It's the crazy part, though, is that what we're seeing and this is, we're going to deviate and we can go on for a couple more hours on this conversation, but 2020 was a moment. It was allowing us to reflect for those that are human, and those that have human kindness and humanity in us, and that believe in giving and paying it forward. And then for others, unfortunately, it only bred a type of person or animal that I can't even say is humane. And we talked about that today in our motivation, and why Punch King Fitness is going to be not only just a business, but it's also going to be it's going to have a big community impact. And this is something that we want to help King in his vision and how he wants to make an impact in the world and in our local community by helping people to become vigilant and learn to protect themselves from just the crazy nonsense, inhumane shit that's just coming out right now. And for whatever reason, these are the ripple effects of what has happened, the good and the bad from 2020. So we're seeing it, and it's whatever was bred during that time. We're starting to see the ugly side of it rear its head, and good always wins evil. I always believe in that in my heart of hearts. So I think that we're going to see that there's going to be a lot of things, a lot of people coming together, and then again, just it's not only about success financially, but success in how we can give back to our community. Today I had the experience of going to San Francisco because I had a meeting up there, and it was really heartbreaking and emotional for me. Before the meeting, when I walked in, the amount of pain and suffering that I saw on the streets, that you want to save the world, but you can't. But you got to at least do your part in giving back to the community. And it's just so my prayers and my positive energy and whatever we can do as a team, let's continue to do that and give back to our community. And with that said, what have you done, or what do you do for community service and for impact in the community? Because I know in your heart of hearts, you're not just about dollars and cents in business, man. You have two beautiful children, or is it two, right? Yeah, I don't want to give you an extra one, but I don't want to get you in trouble. I know that you gotta be, you're a family man, and you gotta have, there's gotta be that philanthropy in you. What does Gabe do to give back to our community, or to the community?
One of the big things we did, especially, and it's something I really miss, was when we do the expos. We worked with a lot of the youth centers, and we would go down there and invite them to try to find something through sport or through a fitness modality that would give them something that wasn't their normal. Maybe they'd never experienced boxing. Like when we worked with like Candy Lopez, right? Now, I could see his community and I could see what he wanted to do. And I'm like, man, if we can just inspire them through sports, and it was always through sports just because it's at my heart, right? It's something that I can bring the community together. I can showcase exactly what that looks like. And it also gives me the opportunity to like maybe create a new perspective. Sports, again, transcends race, religion, economics. There's a lot of ways you can play. You can go out and play basketball in the street. You can play basketball at the YMCA, whatever you want to do. But I would love to get back to creating those opportunities to meet new coaches, to get with underprivileged parts of the community that really I know benefit from what athletics has done for my life and for millions of other people in the area.
Yeah, well, if it wasn't for sports or music for me, man, I probably wouldn't be on this planet today. So sports definitely gave me a discipline of teamwork, and music was a passion because I fell in love with it, and it's what geared me and directed me towards nightlife and entertainment, and I learned to master both, so that's where I get the competitive edge in my body, and my soul, and in my mind. So. Anyway, Gabe, I know that we could keep rambling here for hours, man. I want to tell you, man, I want to thank you again for your time for this evening, taking time away from your family and your business. Whatever we can do to help your business. If people want to find out about your sports club, where can they go? Is there a website that they can go to?
Absolutely. So evosportsclub.com, or you can find us at Evo Sports Club on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Again,
is it Evo Sports with an S and clubs?
Yeah,
or club.
Club without the S.
Okay, so club without the S. So
Yep.
I'll make sure to put that in on our comment section here so that people can get it. And then of course the handles are Evo Sports Club for all the social medias. And right now your hours of operation are what?
So we're open 9 to 9 Monday through Friday. And then we're open 10 to 2 Saturday, closed Sundays.
Okay.
We expand back open, though. We're going to be expanding those hours as well and getting people healthy, well, and bringing back the community.
By the way, you didn't bring me my key today. You said that I have my own. I'm gonna take you up on your word. I have my own personal key. I can't be driving down to Gilroy every day, 30 minutes. I know it's freeway therapy for me, but I need a shorter distance. So I'm looking forward to coming into your gym and working out, especially now that you have the Punch King bag in there until we get ours built. Yep. I'm looking forward to kicking some ass on the bags, and at the same time getting some ideas on how I can contribute and help your business grow and be successful. Because again, we got to make sure that the home turf is up and ready and healthy so that we can expand. Because when we start expanding, bro, this thing's going to be like a rocket ship. It's just going to take off, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it. So,
absolutely. Thank you so much for having me tonight and let me share my story. And looking forward to an amazing year. And I hope everybody stay positive, drive towards your goals, and let's continue to build.
I agree. And thank you so much again. Thank you for taking the time away from family, from your business, being with us here this evening. Thank you for today, an amazing day with our business opportunity. Let's kick ass. It's not how we start, it's how we end. And for us, 2021, we're grabbing this sucker by the horns, and we're going to dial it in and really kick some ass. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch up with you backstage.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Gabe.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Again, wow, what an amazing show with Gabe Scarpelli, Evo Sports Club in Santa Clara. Again, part of the Silicon Valley. Gentleman, friend that has been in the industry for 20 plus years, 25 years in the industry, knows what he's talking about. And I'm very excited for the partnership that we're going to be building starting today. Today was the meeting of the minds, and I'm very excited about that and moving forward. So, again, today, just an amazing show. Episode number 9, season 2, Mauricio Mejia Live every Wednesday, 6 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Again, I want to just do one more mention. Today is Cesar Chavez's birthday. If you missed it in the beginning of the show, he would have been 94 years old today. To a man with a vision, a heart, a spirit, to fight not just for one people, but for all people. And those are the things that I grew up with. Those are the values that I grew up with. And I want to continue to perpetuate that today, in today's times, because it just seems like a lot of things have gone upside down. At least that's the way it feels for me, being the way that I was brought up, and the things and the experiences that I've had. It just seems that it's just one of those things that it just doesn't seem right. But anyhow, we're going to leave this on a positive note. Next week, I got an amazing show. This is going to be our first show where we have two guests. We're going to be bringing on a good friend of mine, Damiano. Jesus, his name is like one of those tongue twisters. Raigosa, out of LA. He's an entrepreneur. He's got a lot of different businesses that he's involved in. Real estate is one of them, and he's also involved in some technology, some apps, and definitely a lot of great things. So we're going to be bringing him on the show along with Maddie Scariet. So today we're getting all these name twisters on here. Director of the film festival for the Poppy Jasper Film Festival that starts next week, and we're going to actually have her on opening day. We're going to have her live on the show, and we're going to be talking about, and briefly, I know that it's the opening act or the opening day, and I know she's going to be busy, but she's going to take time out of her schedule to be with us, and it's going to be great to have her on the show. And we definitely have a lot of great people that are coming up for the rest of the month. I'm going to have my girl Fresca, who's an amazing on-air talent. She's going to be on the show. I got Mellow Mayonnaise that's going to be on the show as well. Rob Owens from Bumpbox is going to be on the show. And if you guys don't know about Bumpbox, go to bumpbox.com. Log on and check out their website. Amazing technology, amazing, just cool stuff. And to a bunch of, congrats to their success and all the good things that are ahead. So again, I want to thank everyone that joined us tonight. And I'll see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. And you guys all have a good night. Thank you very much.